Gemini. Oh, Gemini. This is a great week. Let's get into it. Gemini, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. I'm going to go over the astrology, then we're going to get into this tarot card reading. And I always create an extended reading. So the link is below for that in the top, at the top of the description box, as well as I will pin it to the top of the comment section so it's easy for you to find. Remember to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you'll know when I upload your favorite content. Gemini content comes out every single Thursday at 8:30 a.m. That's Pacific time. And if you want to join me for daily tarot card readings, I invite you over to my second YouTube channel called Astrology Motivation. I'll attach the link above so you guys can join me over there. Why do I like this week for you? Because it's a really good week. I mean, yes, Gemini, Mercury is in Virgo, which isn't an identical energy to yours, but since it is your ruling dignitary and it is at home, it's in a very strong position. So you should be strengthened by that. But beyond that, there is a trine to Uranus right now. And Uranus trine Mercury is brilliant energy, and there isn't really anything that you won't be able to come up with or figure out and articulate and communicate. And it could be that you're thinking a little bit advanced, that you're so far out of the box people can't keep up, because there's a little bit of a wonky aspect between between Mercury and Pluto, at least in the beginning of this week. Don't freak out because it doesn't really last that long, but that just kind of goes with a sense of maybe your level of enthusiasm, or you have so much confidence, or you're taking things to the extreme, or you're butting heads with authority figures because they just don't get it, because they're not ready to. And I just want you to remember, don't waste your time feeling bad about other people not understanding you, because you can only meet somebody where they're at. They may not be ready to be where you are. So just don't take it personally and do you, boo. Yeah, there's also this wonderful sextile between Mercury and the South Node too, which tells us there's sort of it's almost like you're speaking from experience, and you've taken where you've been and what you're already good at, and you're putting it to work to enable you to figure out or communicate whatever these Uranian brilliant discoveries of yours are starting to be. It could even mean that you're introducing an idea or a thought process to something public, to a larger group of people, or you're leveling up when it comes to your friends and you're looking for much more intellectual connections right now. I wouldn't be surprised if you find them. Be at home. Let's do this. That's you're close to home, right? And this is Mercury, tend to the small things. But what does that mean? It means that you will take a great deal of comfort looking at the details. It won't, first of all, you're a detail-oriented person to begin with. But this is super detailed. It's also a sense of maybe you'll be home, maybe you'll be closer to home, maybe you'll want to be home, maybe you want to pick through some things that you haven't been able to go over, or you have some things to discuss. But it's definitely saying that there's a comfort level. I mean, this could be that you will be very much needing to be home to, sort through things and get through detailed things, or sort through. Mouse usually implies that something has been building up and maybe even getting you sick in a way. So it could be that you are at home either convalescing, taking care of yourself, or like I said, it's more metaphoric in that you are very at home taking care of those tiny little details that everybody else wants to overlook and people have been allowing to build up. But it's in your ability to be able to handle those things and grapple all those details that other people don't want to, where your opportunity to shine really lives. Then we have Trust the Great Mystery. So 65, 6 plus 5 it was 11. So you're awakening to how much you love something, how much you adore something, how much you trust something, surrounding yourself with a feeling of cleansing and healing. And almost trusting in a way. So this could even be you diving into some sort of therapy, some sort of care for yourself, and allowing it to just sort of like so wrap itself around you. I'm just getting a bunch of healing right now, and sort of being masterful of your space, and almost like the king of your own domain is what I want to say. So you really feel confident about yourself. And then we have bring a gentle touch, and this is Virgo energy. You could be diving into something that's been building for a while. There's romance in the air. It's not necessarily directly impacting you, but there's definitely romance in the air this week, which could be having an impact on you. Bring a gentle touch and take a deep dive. It might be you diving into some sort of relationship with a Virgo, or even in a sense, what was I saying? Bring a gentle touch and trust the great mystery. Tend to the small things. Be at home. I feel like there's two things going on at the same time here. Almost like you've gone home, or you've gone back, and you're like almost like you've gone back for a visit. And in some ways, there's just something there that you kind of jump into and immerse yourself in. This is a loving gesture on your part. That's what you're doing. You're diving into something probably on behalf of others. Because you know you can. And you know you have the ability, or you see clearly what has to be done, and you're taking action on it. Then we have time to collaborate, which is also discussing some sort of partnership, could be romantic, some sort of partnership forming. Time to collaborate means building something and not just doing it by yourself. But bringing your talents to the table, bringing your insights to the table, and somehow realizing that you have to be gentle with somebody to break it to them or to tell them something. It's because it's not about a shock value. It's not about dominating. It's about just really caring about the quality and what's going on right now. And you know that you have to like not come in like a raging bull, like that's just not going to have the impact. But instead it's almost like you have to build something very slowly. And like I said in the beginning of the reading, it's almost like you realize you have to meet somebody where they're at, dive in and take it from there, moving very slowly, being maybe even very facetious and going step by step. This is actually an energy of how you're going to get things done this week. Gemini. Are you connecting with somebody close to home, or are you traveling somewhere? Virgo is usually to stay at home and work on things and dive into something very close, like not being out and about. Act as if, it's almost like in some ways you're trying to hide in plain sight. That's what I'm picking up. Like you're working on shit, or maybe you don't want somebody to know something. I don't think it's intentionally secretive. It's almost like you'd just rather be sort of anonymous right now. That's really interesting. Because you're working something out. You'd rather be building something slowly. You're not trying to draw a lot of attention to yourself. Almost trying to be like maybe a fly on the wall. I like that you're being observant and you're being a listener over just going out on the attack. Take the lead. This is the first time this card has showed up. Okay, you're planning something. I'm just going to say that right out. But I don't like the reading. It's not to expose you guys, right? But this is definitely a time of preparation, planning figuring out what's wrong, figuring out the kinks and the quirks and the little minute details. And basically you're working on a strategy that you don't necessarily want to bring to people's attention right now, but it's got to do with something that you're initiating, or you're taking the lead on. Maybe even this is some sort of plan to take on a leadership role of some sort. You're planning on it, you're going for it, you're diving yourself full into it. But with all this Virgo energy on the table, you don't want to be loud about it. You're not trying to like announce it to the world. You're putting things together and getting it ready. And you could even be pulling together a team for something. So if that's not what you're doing, maybe it's what you should be doing, because that's definitely what the cards, that's the energy the cards are drawing. You are a mystery to me, Gemini. And then life is speeding up. All of this, and this is your energy. So once everything pulls together, it's going to like explode like rocket fuel. So it's almost like this week is your time to almost wind up the toy car in preparation for letting it go. So Geminis, I'm going to predict that in the next 1 to 2 weeks, you're going to be making some huge announcement. I don't know if it's going to, I don't know what it's going to be, if it's going to shock people, but you're right now, you've already made a decision. You just haven't told everybody else that you're making a decision, except the people that you know that you need to pull together. Now, this sounds more like career. This could be planning a wedding without telling anybody. Like it's just, and it's not even trying to be secretive. It's not being secretive to try to be deceptive. It's being secretive. It's not even being secretive. It's just being private. And there's a big difference, right, between being private and trying to intentionally deceive somebody. You're not. You just don't want everybody to know your business right now. And that's why there's so much, because you got a lot of shit to get together. You got a lot of work to do. And you're taking this very seriously because you are planning it pedantically. And you are digging at the very roots of whatever the illness is. You want to get to the heart of the matter. You want to really strike intelligently this time. Act as if you're just a fly on the wall. But remember, flies on the wall is like, you're listening, you're paying attention. So in this case, it almost seems like you're getting a lot of intel. And since there's a sextile to the South Node, and the South Node is in Scorpio, you're also like, Scorpio is a very private energy. So it's almost like you're very comfortable doing work or working in private. You're very comfortable with maybe things that you have done in private, right? You're very comfortable with that, or something's going on where you're pulling from your past, or things that you've tried to keep private. But I just feel like there's just this sense, I don't know why. Let me get into the moon card. We got to dig into the details because you're even making me curious. What did you tell me? Leave the comments below. I want to know what's going on in your life. You know, all that you want to tell me. Just leave the comments below. Adjustments are required. Third quarter moon. What the hell does that mean? He's like, you're still like not wanting to let me know what's going on. Adjustments are required. So it's almost like you know that there are things to work on, or you're prepping. I feel like you're studying and you're doing a lot of research, and you're putting together almost like you're putting together a strategy of some sort, but you're definitely going to have to be able to improv. So don't get your sights set on a plan. In terms of your strategy, leave room for improv. That's just what I'm going to say to you, because you are going to have to kind of hit the ground running and then just sort of be spontaneous about some stuff. Take the lead is about knowing something, understanding something, realizing something, and because you realize it, you have to take an initiative on it. So it's almost like in some ways you're tied to something higher, and you are, and that's what Mercury trine Uranus is. It's like Mercury is the closer or lower intellect, and Uranus represents the higher intellect. But the fact that the two of them are trine is that the two of them are just in complete compatibility and working together. So you absolutely realize and get a bigger picture. And it's almost like, okay, well, how do I use my past to sort of make this translation and put it into words that will be the most palpable? What are you fucking up to? That's a question for the cards. Hello. What is Gemini up to? What is Gemini up to? What is Gemini up to? Judgment. This is coming up a little bit in the past. You made a decision to make a comeback. Return of the Mac, baby. Oh my God. But you made a decision. You're making a comeback. You're resurrecting something or bringing something back. Something that has to do with your past. And something somebody stole from you. Somebody's sneaking in and just taking something from you. There was judgment made. That there's a judgment made about somebody like coming in, sneaking in, stealing something from you. This happened in the past though. It's almost like you feel like something in the past, something was stolen from you. Or the rug was pulled out from underneath your feet. Okay, well, where's Gemini headed? Let's get these cards. Well, okay, so how does Gemini react to that? It's almost like, I'll tell you, I really love the way that you're reacting to it, because it's almost like very objective. It's almost like you're saying, if I want the future to be different, I have to go about this in a whole other way. It's not like you're sitting there playing victim. You're saying, okay, let me analyze everything that went wrong and make for damn sure it doesn't happen again. It's like you're not wasting time on feeling ashamed. Happy birthday. Or trying to run away. Happy birthday, Doug Denny. Or trying to run away from any sort of responsibility. It's almost like you're kind of like, bring it on in some ways. You got the green light, baby. That's coming up in your future. Green light, because this means a council, a bureaucracy, some sort of judgment, body of judgment is saying you get the green light. Virgo energy has to do with being facetious and being soft-spoken and not resisting and just like checking everything. It's like you never go up against Virgo energy when it comes to checking the facts. In some ways, I feel like you're going to be like, hashtag just the facts. You see Stranger Things, you know? That's what it is. It's almost like you are like, go ahead. Go ahead. Because you know the details better than anybody else. And nobody's going to be able to out-detail you. Then you have Juno, family. She has to do with family. Working on family. Family, close friends, but definitely like marriages. There could have to do with something about marriage or wives. Or being a wife if you are a wife. Interesting. And then we have 4, which is usually stability and Arcturian council. You have 2 council cards. You have 2 cards of like being judged. Like there's some sort of judgment. It's almost like in some ways you're being put in front of a board, or there's judgment here. And I think it has a lot to do with something at home, your relationship, your marriage. Jesus. I want to read Arcturian Council just to make sure that I've got that for you guys. 4 is stability. 4 is something has manifested itself into the real 3D space. Like something has become very physicalized, solid. Something has become solid. Let me say this. Something has materialized. Something has materialized, Gemini, and you are going to out-detail the details. And then we have your inner alchemist speaks through the portal of your heart. It's time to listen. If you've been feeling out of balance, this has to do with your health. Perhaps you are sensing separation. This is illusion. The natural world has everything you need to stay healthy. Expand your apothecary to include healing supplies such as homeopathics, flower essences. You are guided to integrate leading edge technology and natural therapies to help your magnificent body sustain. When you use your intuition, it will lead you to exactly what is necessary to remain in good health and live your best life. What is this? Are you doing some work on medical or looking into your medical history or getting medical history or wanting to understand medical history? You've been given a good green light to do something to heal, to reconnect and reintegrate? Okay. What am I missing? What am I missing? Love, Ace of Cups, and Page of Cups. This has definitely got to do with marriage. It's got to do with marriage and maybe a child that you're having or a child that you have. Page of Cups is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or this is just a sense of it could be pregnancy. But it's also like starting over a new leaf and deciding to love, or allowing somebody to love you and heal you and care for you, or caring for somebody else, taking care of and nurturing a family, and making a commitment. It's like I heard a renewed commitment to something. I even feel like in some ways this energy is trying to keep itself secret from me. So it's only so much the cards. But I hope you understand that you are definitely on the right path. And in some ways this is fated, because take the lead is like you know it's fate. It's almost like now you realize what you have to do to be ready for maybe what happened too soon in the past, but now moving forward you know exactly how to make it right because you've been here before and you see the similarities. It's like you are ready now. You are ready now. You are absolutely seeing something very clearly, and maybe even developing something. I want to dig into this deeper. I hope you guys will come across with me. Let's go to the extended. I'll see you guys there.